Europe is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. You will find many different cultures, cuisines, and landscapes on this continent. Europe is made up of 44 countries which all have their own customs, laws, and historical pasts. If you're looking for a Europe versus Asia continent comparison, then you've come to the right place. We at Comparison World Facts have compiled a list of India's top European holiday destinations that will take your breath away. Europe holds a special place in India's history, as well as in Indian culture. Even today, some Indians regard Europe as their second home due to its many ties that bind them. Additionally, Asia is one of the most diverse places on the planet, and there's an almost endless amount of things to see and do. Asia has some of the world's most exotic destinations, from India and Thailand in the east to China, Mongolia, and beyond in Asia's west. The differences between Asian countries vary just as much as the similarities. But where should you go if you want an authentic experience? Let us take a look at some of the key facts about Europe versus Asia. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content just like this. Up next, Europe versus Asia. Key differences and similarities. Europe and Asia are home to many of the most popular travel destinations for backpackers and tourists from around the world. Both continents are equally endowed with a plethora of cultures, landscapes, and cuisines. However, there are some key differences and similarities between these two continents. First off, what are some similarities? Well, both continents are home to a wide variety of cultures, and many people in both Europe and Asia speak a wide variety of different languages. On top of this, both continents have a rich history that dates back several thousands of years. Also, the two continents have a diverse range of landscapes, from the snowy mountains of Europe to the lush green forests of Asia. Differences. Asia is considerably larger in size than Europe. Asia covers the entire northern part of the Earth, from the Himalayas to the north part of the Indian Ocean in the south. Europe, on the other hand, is a smaller and narrower part of Earth. It is also much less populated than Asia. Asia has a much richer and older history than Europe. The oldest civilizations in Asia, such as Egypt, Mesopotamia, and China, date back thousands of years. The oldest civilizations in Europe, like Greece, Rome, and the Celts, have their roots in the Bronze Age, which is a much more recent period in history. Also, the biodiversity in Asia is much more diverse and includes a wide variety of flora and fauna. Europe, on the other hand, is much less biodiverse. Keep watching along closely. We've got everything you need to know about how weather has played a key part in the history of Asia. What key events have happened in recent European history? The history of Europe dates back over thousands of years. This is also one of the world's oldest and most influential regions. Since 1914, Europe slid into two world wars, a Cold War standoff, and later a more peaceful and egalitarian era, in which had lasted at least until the Ukrainian conflict, when in 2014, the Russian Federation invaded and annexed the Crimean Republic, and pro-Russian separatists seized a portion of the Donbas region of southeastern Ukraine, which comprises the Luhansk and Donetsk Oblast, triggering a regional conflict. In 2021, Russia began a significant military buildup on the border with Ukraine, assembling up to 190,000 troops and their weapons. Approximately 190,000 Russian troops and their equipment were amassed on the border with Ukraine by 2021. In a televised address prior to the invasion, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that Ukraine's right to statehood was being contested. On February 21, 2022, Russia recognized the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic, two self-proclaimed breakaway quasi-states in Donbas. Then, Russia authorized the use of military force, and Russian troops promptly advanced into Ukraine. History of Asia. And how does nature play a factor? Asia is prone to earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis. Nature has made life difficult for the people of Asia with monsoon floods, typhoons, sandstorms, and droughts. In certain instances, these natural forces have substantially impacted the history of entire countries. For instance, the Chinese Tang, Yuan, and Ming dynasties were brought down by the annual monsoons in conjunction with other natural forces in a given year. However, when these monsoons failed to come in 1899, the resulting famine ultimately led to Indian independence from Britain. Aside from the frequent natural disasters, Asia shares World War II as a recent event in their history. Japan played a huge role, especially with Japan's invasion of Thailand. which led to Thailand joining Japan as an ally. The subsequent Japanese attacks prompted the United States, the United Kingdom, and several other nations to declare war in response to the Pearl Harbor attack. This attack occurred on December 7, 1941, the 8th of December in Asia time zones. When Japan launched an assault on the American fleets at Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Pacific Fleet, Army Air Forces, and Marine Air Forces all suffered significant losses. Japan's long-planned Southeast Asian empire, as well as defensible buffer zones, would be established until the U.S. could muster enough to hinder it. As a result, the U.S. public saw the attack as a brutal and treacherous act, and rallied against the Japanese Empire. So, what is the population of Europe and Asia? There are about 746 million people living in Europe. However, most of the European countries are very densely populated, with the continent being ranked second in the world for its population density, with 34 people on average per square kilometer. On the other hand, over 4.5 billion people are living in Asia. Asia's ranked number 1 for its population density, with roughly 150 people per square kilometer. Also, the most densely populated country in Asia is India, with a population density of about 424 people per square kilometer. So what does the economy of Europe and Asia consist of? Europe is a very diverse continent in terms of its economy. This is one of the reasons that makes Europe such a popular tourist destination. You'll find rich economies and highly developed countries all over this continent. Europe is also famous for its banking systems, stock exchanges, and many other financial services. Also, Asia is a very diverse continent in terms of its economy. This is one of the main reasons why it's also one of the most popular travel destinations in the world. The rich Asian cultures and cuisines are some of the reasons why people from all over the world want to visit this continent. Their energy sector within Asia is also very impressive, with a surprising 7 different countries that are entirely self-sufficient in terms of energy. These include India, Japan, and South Korea. Europe is a continent full of history, art, and great cultural aspects. It is also one of the most popular travel destinations in the world. Asia is also a very diverse continent regarding its culture and art. Europe is relatively smaller in size compared to Asia, with Asia being much more densely populated. At the same time, one could argue that Europe has a richer history and is more diverse when it comes to culture. It is also one of the wealthiest continents in the world. If you're planning to travel to any of these 2 amazing continents, choose wisely and make the most out of your trip. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about Asia versus Europe continent comparison. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like the video and subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss out on any of our content just like this. Thank you for watching.